Hello kids, my name is Aastha and you're watching Delhi Knowledge Track. We are studying for the International English Olympiad Class 4th. Today is our 6th class and our topic for the day is pronouns. First, we will be understanding the concepts. We will also study about different types of pronouns and how do we use them, how do we form questions about them. And then eventually we will be solving a few mock exam condition questions. These will be sample questions based on the pattern of the actual IEO exam. And these questions are taken as reference from the book of MTG Publications. Now this book is just one of the many books which are available in the market and any one of them can be used by you as per your reference and as per your convenience. So, let's start today's class. So, the first question that comes to our mind is, what exactly are pronouns? How do we use them? How do we identify them? So, let's understand that first. Now, as we have done most of the times, हम पहले एक example लेते हैं. उस example से फिर हम pronoun की meaning derive करेंगे, okay? Suppose I say my best friend's name is Ranveer. Then I go on to describe my best friend as, I say Ranveer lives in Delhi. Then I also say Ranveer's favorite food is chole bhature. And I also say Ranveer is a good boy. Now here you see, if you can identify one similarity in all these 4 sentences, what is that? Is there anything that is being repeated again and again? Anything that I am saying again and again which I should not? Yes, the answer is Ranveer. I say my best friend's name is Ranveer for the first time. Then I say Ranveer lives in Delhi. Second time. Then I say Ranveer's favorite food is chole bhature. Then I say Ranveer is a good boy. So you see, in 4 sentences, I am saying Ranveer 4 times. However, can this be written as, we'll see that on the next slide. Now the previous example, it can be written as, my best friend's name is Ranveer. He lives in Delhi. His favorite food is chole bhature. He is a good boy. Now you see, what we have done here is, in the previous slide we were repeating the word Ranveer. My best friend's name is Ranveer. Ranveer lives in Delhi. Ranveer's favorite food is chole bhature. Ranveer is a good boy. But what we have done, we have replaced this noun Ranveer with a pronoun. Pronoun is what? He. Pronoun he lives in Delhi. Pronoun his favorite food is chole bhature. Then another pronoun, he is a good boy. So now you see how the word Ranveer is avoided from being repeated again and again, and how it has made your language easier. So this is the meaning of pronouns, which we will see. So what are pronouns? Pronouns are those words that we use instead of nouns or noun phrases. So the words that we gave an example of, like he, we also gave the example of his and him, and all these words which we use instead of the noun. What was Ranveer? Ranveer was a noun. It was a proper noun. हमने nouns पढ़े थे पिछले chapter में. You know, Ranveer is a proper noun. Proper noun वो होता है when we refer to any specific person.
So the words that we use instead of these nouns or phrases, ताकि हमें repeat ना करना पड़े, so they become pronouns. Just think how many times we would have to repeat nouns in our sentences if we did not have pronouns in English. You know, अगर हमारे English में pronouns नहीं होते, he, his, him कुछ नहीं होता, तो हमें same noun कितनी बार repeat करना पड़ता. My best friend's name is Ranbir. Ranbir lives in Delhi. Ranbir likes chole bhature. I went to Ranbir's house. Ranbir gave me Ranbir's pencil. You see, इतनी बार हमें वो pronouns repeat करने पड़ते. क्या करने पड़ते? Repeat. The nouns we would have to repeat. But हमारे पास pronouns हैं, तो हमें repeat नहीं करने पड़ रहे हैं, and we use pronouns instead of these nouns or noun phrases. So this is the importance of pronouns in English. So now we have understood what pronouns are, and we will take a few examples so that आपको clearer understanding हो. See, we write Aastha likes to eat. Aastha is eating a chocolate. Here, what is the noun? Aastha likes to eat. Aastha is being repeated. The noun, the proper noun Aastha is being repeated. So we will replace it with a pronoun. Aastha likes to eat. She is eating a chocolate. You see how we have avoided repetition of the noun and we have replaced it with a pronoun. Next, Ayush is running. Ayush got punished for being late. What is the proper noun here? Ayush. It is being repeated. So we'll just write instead, Ayush is running. He got punished for being late. So now again we have replaced the proper noun with a pronoun. This is the basic definition of pronouns where we replace a noun or a noun phrase with a pronoun and avoid being repetitive. So now we have a few more examples. The books are heavy. My brother could not carry the books. Here you see, this is not a proper noun but a common noun. The books, it is being repeated again. So instead of the books you write, the books are heavy. My brother could not carry them. Alright. Now then another example. My aunt will visit me today. My aunt's kids are very naughty. What is being repeated here? My aunt. Again, my aunt. So instead of my aunt's kids, we write her kids are very naughty. So you see again, pronouns क्या कर रहे हैं? Pronouns are replacing a noun and they are avoiding repetition. Here them is a pronoun, here her is a pronoun. Now let's move on. So we have understood how pronouns works. Now which all pronouns do we have? What are the various types of pronouns? हमें कब कौन सा pronoun use करना है? वो हम अब understand करेंगे through the types of pronouns. Okay, we will understand each type through examples and application. फिर उसके बाद we will move on to a quiz. So let's start. Okay, so now you see, here there are persons. This is, suppose, let's say this is you. So what will you call yourself? You call yourself I, right? Now this person is pointing towards another person. So what would you use for another person? You would use you. Then another one, suppose you're talking about somebody else, that there is another guy. What pronoun will you use for him? He. Now there are a few more images. And now for the girl, what pronoun will you use? You will call her a she. For the dog, for any animal, you will use the pronoun it. And for someone, this girl is pointing towards another guy, what will you use for him? You will use again you. So another one, we're talking that these kids, there's a group of kids. What will they call themselves? We. But there's this guy who is pointing towards another group. He point कर रहे हैं. He is not a part of the group. He is separate and he is talking about someone else. Someone else which is a group. In fact, a group of people. So we'll call it they. The pronoun used will be they. So now if you noticed, these are the pronouns which represented the doer of an action or the subject, which means they talked about the doer. For example, I, for example, you, them, we, he, she, it. So all these pronouns which denote a doer of the action. Someone जो action कर रहा है या कर रही है, उसके लिए जो हम pronoun use करते हैं, that is a personal pronoun. So this is the first category of pronouns, which is personal pronouns. Now let's move on. Here you see these personal pronouns have three categories. We can talk about the doer in the first person, in the second person, or in the third person. First person कब होता है? जब हम खुद बता रहे होते हैं कि मैंने ये काम किया. I made a sandwich today. We went to picnic today. So you see, I made a sandwich today में I is the doer, मतलब मैं doer हूँ. तो I becomes the personal pronoun. We are going to the picnic today. So action कौन कर रहा है? Picnic पे कौन जा रहा है? We. So we is the personal pronoun. जब हम second person में किसी और की बात कर रहे होते हैं कि you did this. For example, you should go to school today. So you. When you school को किसने जाना है? कौन जाएगा school? You. तो action कौन कर रहा है? The second person. So you becomes the personal pronoun. Then third person. Third person में मैं अपनी बात नहीं कर रही, मैं किसी को बोल नहीं रही, यू नहीं बोल रही. Rather, I am talking about the third person. Third person मतलब I am talking about someone else who is not in the picture. For example, अगर मैं और आप बात कर रहे हैं, this is me and this is you. And both of us are talking about another person who is not here. तो हम उसके बारे में बात करेंगे थर्ड पर्सन में. जैसे he is going to the mall today, or she did not come to school today. Yeah, it is a good movie. They arrived in the morning. So इसमें doer कौन है? Doer is a third person. He, she, it, they, all these. तो आपको first person, second person, third person में difference समझ आया? First person जब मैं खुद की बात कर रही हूँ. First मतलब मैं या फिर हम. मैं अपनी और अपने एक ग्रुप की अगर बात कर रही हूँ तो I होगा या फिर we होगा. फिर जब second person की बात आती है, जब मैं आपको कुछ बोल रही हूँ, for example you. तो मेरा और आपका कॉन्वर्सेशन हो गया I, you, बट थर्ड पर्सन जब मैं और आप मिलके किसी और के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं then that becomes the third person. जब हम बात कर रहे हैं but that person is not here, so हमें उसके लिए थर्ड पर्सन में बोलना पड़ता है कि it या he या she. ओके सो यही तीनों हमारे पर्सनल प्रोनाउंस हैं. I, we फर्स्ट पर्सन में, सेकंड पर्सन में you एंड थर्ड पर्सन में he, she, it, they. All right? Okay, so now we will do a few examples of personal pronouns. एग्जाम्पल से आपको थोड़ा सा बेटर समझ आएगा, आप उन्हें अप्लाई कर पाएंगे ना सेंटेंसेस में, तो आपको अंडरस्टैंड बेटर होगा. Now the first sentence is I am playing games. अगर हम पर्सनल प्रोनाउंस का मीनिंग याद करें तो पर्सनल प्रोनाउंस आर द वंस व्हिच रिप्लेस द डूअर. तो डूअर ऑफ द एक्शन, डूअर, राइट. एंड यहाँ पे एक्शन क्या है, यहाँ पे काम क्या हो रहा है, प्लेइंग गेम्स. सो हु इज प्लेइंग गेम्स, I. What is the personal pronoun? Who is the doer? I. The personal pronoun I. And हमने एक और चीज सीखी थी which was first person, second person, third person. So I is which person? I is when I'm talking about myself. So it becomes the first person. Moving on to the next example. Now, the next example here, the action is, now the sentence is, we are eating pizza. Action क्या है? क्या काम हो रहा है यहाँ पे? They are eating pizza. And who is eating the pizza? यहाँ पे doer कौन है? Doer is we. Okay. So, we is the personal pronoun. We is the doer. And we कौन से person में है? First, second or third? We is when we're talking about ourselves, right? So, it becomes the first person again. Then, moving on to the third example. The sentence says, you are running. What is the action taking place here? Running. That someone is running. That is the action. But who is doing the action? Who is running? We are given the personal pronoun you. So you is the doer and the personal pronoun. But you कौन से person में है? First, second or third? You is the second person. Why? Because second person मतलब जब हम सामने वाले से बात कर रहे हैं. You are doing this, you are doing that. इस example में you are running. Okay, this is the second person. Next we move on to the last example. Sorry. We move on to the last example. This one says, he is studying. So what is the action taking place here? The action is studying. And who is studying? The doer is he. So this becomes the personal pronoun since he is the doer. And which person is this? First, second or third? Now we remember that third person when we're talking about someone else. Not me or you, but we're talking about someone else, the third person. That is he or she. So he is the third person, I and we. This was the first person. You was the second person and he the third person. All of these are personal pronouns. I hope it is clear to you. So now we have done the first category. We have done the first category of pronouns, which was the personal pronouns. Now we are doing the second category, which is reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns are used when the object is same as the subject. Now, object is same as the subject. ये आपको सुनने में थोड़ा सा टेक्निकल लग रहा होगा, थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजिंग लग रहा होगा, but now we will take a few examples, and examples जब लेंगे तो आपको इसका मीनिंग अच्छे से समझ आ जाएगा. So let's see. And we have these pictures. You see, this one says, we protect ourselves from the rain with an umbrella. Now here we are talking about protecting ourselves. इधर subject क्या है? Subject is we. Okay, we, and we is also a personal pronoun. But protect क्या कर रहे हैं? Protect ourselves. So object is, object और subject कौन है? These people, मतलब us only. We. So we use as a personal pronoun, that we protect ourselves. So ourselves जो हम object के लिए pronoun use कर रहे हैं, that becomes the reflexive pronoun. So the subject and object is same. जो subject है, जो ये kids हैं, जो हम लोग हैं, we are doing the action on ourselves. मतलब हम अपने आप को protect कर रहे हैं, किसी और को नहीं, अपने आप को. So we protect ourselves. Subject and object are same. So we use a reflexive pronoun ourselves. Now next. They hurt themselves when they were playing. तो यहाँ पे the subject is they are the doer, तो ये तो personal pronoun हो गया. But object क्या है? Object is themselves. उन्होंने अपने आप को ही hurt कर लिया गलती से, तो themselves. This becomes the reflexive pronoun. Okay? Now next. She blames herself for all the trouble. What is the subject? She. What is the action she is doing? She is blaming herself for all the trouble. Doer कौन है? She. So she is the personal pronoun. But object क्या है? What is she doing the action on? She is blaming herself. अपने आप को blame कर रही है. तो subject and object same. तो herself becomes the reflexive pronoun. Alright? तो यही होते हैं reflexive pronouns when the subject and object are the same. जैसे इसमें we had we protecting ourselves. Now we and ourselves do subject, we doing the action on ourselves. Subject and object same. Then they themselves. Subject and the object same. Reflexive pronoun themselves. Here also she and herself, reflexive pronoun, herself, subject and object are same. Alright? Now the next category of examples. The dog hurt itself when he jumped over the fence. Now the dog. What is the subject here? Dog. अब यहाँ पे you have to remember dog जो है वो noun है, वो pronoun नहीं है. Dog is a noun. Okay? It is a noun. But what is the action being done? Hurt itself. तो object क्या है जिस पे action किया गया है? That is itself. Dog ने अपने आप को ही hurt कर लिया. So itself is the reflexive pronoun. When the subject and the object are same, then the pronoun used is the reflexive pronoun. Now next. The children are amusing themselves with the snow. Now you see here what is the subject? The children. Again, this is not a pronoun, this is a noun. Because किसी noun को replace नहीं किया है, ये noun ही है अभी भी. An action amusing themselves with the snow. Now you see what is the object? Themselves. The children were having fun and they were amusing themselves. So themselves is the reflexive pronoun. And the subject and the object are same. Now the next example. Did you enjoy yourself at the party last night? The question is, did you enjoy yourself at the party last night? Now you is a personal pronoun. Okay, the action is being done by you. The question is, did you enjoy yourself at the party last night? So action क्या है? Enjoy the party last night. Who is it? Who is doing it? The doer कौन है? Doer. Doer is you. So this is the personal pronoun. But हम क्या कर रहे हैं अभी? हम कर रहे हैं अभी reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns तब होते हैं जब the subject is the same as the object. So yourself is the reflexive pronoun. So now let's move on. Now we have a list of reflexive pronouns for your reference. जैसे हमने personal pronouns की list करी थी first person, second person and third person में, वैसे ही singular की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे हम singular और plural में हमने कर दिया define. Singular myself मतलब जब मैं सिर्फ मैं single हूँ और मैं सिर्फ अपनी बात कर रही हूँ. Yourself जब हम singular में किसी और की बात कर रहे हो, सिर्फ एक इंसान की, when you're telling them. या himself या herself और itself. Plural में जब आप किसी group of people की बात कर रहे हो, जैसे आप बात कर रहे हो आपकी टीम की, which means your group, a group of people which you are a part of, जिसमें आप भी included हो, तो ourselves. पर किसी और की बात कर रहे हो और उन्हें direct करके बोल रहे हो तो yourselves. You should watch yourselves ऐसे करके. And themselves is when you're talking in third person about somebody else altogether. Now next. Okay, so now you see we have done pronouns and we have done two kinds of pronouns. First was the personal pronouns and second was the reflexive pronouns. Now we move on to the third category of pronouns, which is the demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns are what? They are the words that point to specific things. Specific things. अब ये कैसे यूज होते हैं, कौन से demonstrative pronouns होते हैं, ये हम examples के फॉर्म में समझेंगे. But first you should understand that demonstrative pronouns are the ones that point to specific things. Okay? Let's move on to the examples. Now, this hand or this person is pointing towards a candy. So what do we say? This is a candy. Right, what is this? This is a candy. But if that candy is far off, just a minute. So if this candy is far off, you will say that is a candy. Right? You're pointing it towards a far off thing, that is a candy. But if you have the candy nearby, you say this is a candy. So in both the situations, it is being pointed towards a thing. And the pronoun being used is this or that. This or that. So these two become demonstrative pronouns. Then another one. Now what do we say? These are many candies, right? So these we say these are candies. When it's plural and they are nearby, so you use these. But when they're far off and they're plural, so we say those are candies. So as we learned, demonstrative pronouns are the ones that point towards specific things. So demonstrative pronouns are the ones which point towards specific things, जिसमें हमने पिछले स्लाइड पे देखा this is a candy, that is a candy. अब यहाँ पे हमने देखा these are candies, those are candies. Singular में देख लिया, plural में देख लिया. When they are nearby and they are far off, this, that, and these, those. So this is the list of demonstrative pronouns. This, that, these, those. This, that. ये दोनों use होते हैं for singular and ये दोनों use होते हैं for plural. और जब पास में हो कुछ, this is this, these are these. So this is used for nearer, and that and those are used for plural. Alright, so demonstrative pronouns are very easy. There are only 4 demonstrative pronouns. This, that, these, those. When you're pointing towards something. So very easy. Let's move on. Now we have done 3 categories of pronouns. We should have a quick revision of all these 3. Here you see personal pronouns, reflexive, demonstrative. First category of pronouns that we did was the personal pronouns. They are used for person. And हमने क्या सीखा था? When the subject is the doer, is used for the doer. I, we, you, he, she, they, me, ours. So all these, they are used when the action, for the doer. They are used for the doer of the action. And इसमें हमने first person, second person, third person समझा था. First person में I and we when we're talking about us. Second person when you're talking about somebody in front of you, when you're talking to them, and that is you. And the third person is when you're talking about somebody else who is not here. He, she, they, like that. So the second category we did was reflexive pronouns. These pronouns refer to some noun used before, usually joining 2 sentences. Reflexive pronoun was when the subject is the same as the object. Okay? Myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself. And the demonstrative pronouns are the ones which are used to point out the things to which they refer. For example, this, that, these, those. So this is the 3 category of pronouns that we have done, and we will now be moving towards a quiz. Now is the time for our quiz. Here we will be taking up sample questions provided by IEO. These questions are similar to the actual questions which are asked in the actual questions which are asked in the IEO exam. And for every question you will get 1 minute, 60 seconds timer I have. However, as I have told you, suppose I give you a question and you answer it in less than 1 minute. So what you do, you can fast forward the video and skip right to the answer. There is no need to waste your time. However, I have given 1 full minute because for the actual exam, you get more than 1 minute to answer each question. If you divide the time with the number of questions that you have, then you get more than 1 minute for each question. Okay, so I have given 1 minute to be on the safe side. And for those of you who cannot answer, who are not able to answer in 1 minute, there is no need to worry. You should first take your time and give the answer, and then after that look at the answer key. But it is important that you answer all the questions. For every correct answer, you could award yourselves 10 points. For every incorrect answer, you give yourself no points. However, it is important to answer each question. You should answer all the questions. Why? Because you see, there is no negative marking in IEO. If you answer it incorrectly, you get 0 marks. Your marks are not deducted. Now, this is very important to answer all the questions. Even if you think that, even if you don't know the answer to some question completely and you can only guess that this might be the right answer or that might be the right answer, so you should make a guess and mark some question as correct, because there is no negative marking. There are chances कि आपका वो आंसर सही हो जाए, तो आपको हमेशा मार्क ही करना चाहिए, मतलब कोई भी क्वेश्चन नहीं छोड़ना है. All right, now we will start with the quiz. You should take a notebook and make your columns, and जो भी आपका incorrect होता है, you should write that down, and later on you should revise that. Okay, important is revision. Later on you should revise the ones you are marked as incorrect. So now let's start. So now the question is, fill in the blanks using demonstrative pronouns. I am not convinced. I know dash are mere excuses. So first of all, we should know what are demonstrative pronouns. हमने अभी सीखा था. Quick revision कर लेते हैं. Demonstrative pronouns are the ones which point towards certain things. 4 demonstrative pronouns हमने पढ़े हैं. This, that, these and those. For singular as well as plural. So the sentence here is, I am not convinced. I know dash are mere excuses. So here, first we should see the, it has to be singular or plural. Now we are referring to excuses. Excuses is plural. So in this option, it is fairly easy for you because the only option for plural is C. ऐसे ये strategy होती है MCQ question solve करने की. इसमें आपको पता है excuses के लिए बोल रहे हैं. Excuses plural है. अब this, that, इन दोनों में से कोई भी plural नहीं है. And it तो है ही नहीं demonstrative pronoun. Alright, so the answer is these. So we move on to the next one. So here we have to fill the demonstrative pronoun again. And the question, the blank is, dash is the fort of Lakshmangarh. Here we have to first see what is the, whether this is singular or plural. Now the fort of Lakshmangarh, we know this is singular. So here the answer is supposed to be B. That is the fort of Lakshmangarh. Okay, now these and those, both of these are anyway cancelled because they are used for plural objects. Where here it is the fort of Lakshmangarh, which is singular. So the answer is that. And we cannot use such because such is the fort of Lakshmangarh because there is no reference. We are not comparing it to anything and we are not deriving any expression. We are just pointing it towards the fort of Lakshmangarh. Okay? So here the question says, Manusmriti says that every king is a representative of God and as dash we are bound to worship him. Now here the answer is C, such. Now let me explain this to you. Now we are not pointing towards anything here. We are not saying that that is a representative of God, that is the king, or those are the kings, those are the representatives. We are talking about an inference कि हमने एक statement जो है वो दूसरी statement से derive करी है. जैसे मनुस्मृति कहती है कि every king is a representative of God and as such we are bound to worship him. As such मतलब क्योंकि every king is a representative of God, Therefore we are bound to worship him. तो हम एक स्टेटमेंट डिराइव कर रहे हैं, कंपैरिजन ड्रॉ कर रहे हैं, उससे अपना कंक्लूजन निकाल रहे हैं. That's why we use the word such. Now next one. Now here you see the question is the roads of UP are worse than dash of Haryana. Now सबसे पहले demonstrative pronoun के लिए हमें क्या देखना है? ये देखना है कि singular है या plural है. So हम किस चीज के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं? हम बात कर रहे हैं roads of UP. Roads of UP singular है या plural है? रोड्स एस आ रहा है, दिस इज प्लूरल. रोड कोई एक तो है नहीं, रोड्स तो बहुत सारे यूपी में. सो रोड्स ऑफ यूपी, दिस इज प्लूरल. ओके, सो इट हैज टू बी वन ऑफ दीज. एंड नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट रोड्स. हम एक कंपैरिजन ड्रॉ कर रहे हैं. तो रोड्स ऑफ हरियाणा हमारे पास है, तो ऐसे दे आर नॉट नियर बाय टू अस एंड वी डोंट हैव देम इन हैंड. We say then those of Haryana. हम जब comparison draw कर रहे हैं, we say the roads of UP are worse than those of Haryana. All right. Now next question. Now here you see the question says this shirt is better than dash one. This shirt is better than that one. जब हम कंपैरिजन ड्रॉ कर रहे हैं तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये देखेंगे हम कि सिंगुलर है या प्लूरल है. ठीक है, यहाँ पे शर्ट कंपेयर कर रहे हैं. शर्ट क्या होती है? शर्ट इज सिंगुलर एंड हम कंपैरिजन भी उसका वन से कर रहे हैं, तो ये भी सिंगुलर ही है. राइट, दिस दैट वन dash one, and obviously you cannot compare this shirt with this one. You have to compare this shirt is better than that one. This one makes sense. Now the next question. Now here you see, here we have a different set of questions of reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns, when the subject and object is the same, then those are reflexive pronouns. So the question says, my neighbors found dash in an awkward situation by inviting my naughty sons to their party. So my neighbor found whom in an awkward situation? Now here you see the subject is what? My neighbors. What was the action being done? They found dash in an awkward situation. The subject and object is same, so the object is also neighbors. For neighbors, which reflexive pronouns would you use? Themselves. So my neighbors found themselves in an awkward situation by inviting my naughty sons to their party. Okay, now next. Okay, so now the question is, we are filling here reflexive pronouns, and the question is, Aunt Ruby said to the children, take care of dash. Now, if Aunt Ruby is saying to the children, whom will she tell them to take care of? She will tell them to take care of yourselves, because she is saying ये हम second person में बोल रहे हैं कि Aunt Ruby directly बोल रही है बच्चों को कि you should take care of yourselves. So the answer is A, yourselves. So here we have to fill in reflexive pronouns. The question says, it is not easy to amuse dash at a wedding party. Now here you see there is no subject. I mean, there is a subject, but here is not a specific subject. Just say we are not talking about some person. We are not talking about me or you. Okay, he said it is not easy to amuse himself. या फिर I said it is not easy to amuse myself at a party. No, we are talking about generally. मतलब और general के लिए हम एक क्या use करते हैं? One. मतलब हम एक general word use करते हैं one. that एग्जाम्पल मैं देती हूँ आपको, जैसे we can say one should be honest, one should not lie, one should maintain hygiene. So one ये मतलब generally सबको ये करना चाहिए. So यहाँ पे ये है one. It is not easy to amuse dash at a wedding party. तो ये generally बोल रहे हैं, एक general statement दे रहे हैं कि it is not easy to amuse oneself at a party, at a wedding party. All right? Okay, so here again we are filling up reflexive pronouns. And we say, the question is, I am annoyed with dash for the mistakes I have made. Who is the subject here? I. So I am annoyed with dash. यहाँ dash में subject object same होगा. हमें किसके हिसाब से reflexive pronoun बनाना है? I. Because I am annoyed with myself for the mistakes I have made. कि मैं अपने आप से परेशान हूँ for the mistakes जो मैंने करी हैं. Right? Easy? Now next. So here we are filling reflexive pronouns again. And the question says, the cat fell into the well and hurt dash. Subject क्या है? Cat. Cat fell into the well and hurt whom? Cat will hurt the cat itself. The answer is itself. Animals के लिए हम use करते हैं तो it. So the answer becomes itself. All right. Here we are filling up reflexive pronouns. And our next question says, Rima dash completed all her homework. Now the subject is Rima and Rima completed all her homework. So Rima ने कैसे complete किया अपना homework? खुद किया. So for Rima, the subject and the object will be same, and for that we will use a reflexive pronoun herself. Rima is a female, so we will use her for her, herself. Rima herself completed all her homework. Alright, now we move on. Okay, so now these are HOTS questions. High order thinking skills. These are the part of the achiever section questions. Here you are given 2 blanks. Dash never went to Ramgarh, but they have heard about Dash. Now here we have to fill in 2 pronouns and we are given pairs of pronouns. इसमें से we will see which one fits. Now you see here we are talking about the doer of the action. So we will be talking about the personal pronouns. यहाँ पे personal pronouns आएगा and यहाँ पे भी personal pronoun आएगा, because again here we are talking about, change the color, here again we are talking about a place which is Ramgarh. Here we are talking about the people, the group of people. So here the answer will be they. They never went to Ramgarh, but they have heard about it. Ramgarh के लिए we use it, and for people never went to Ramgarh, they. Okay.
So that's all for today's class on pronouns. I hope you have understood the concept and where exactly do they come from and which is what kind of pronoun, these various types. And I really hope that you will revise these concepts, and you should keep on referencing whenever you use pronouns. Your mind should tell you, this is the demonstrative pronoun, this is the personal pronoun. This is how pronouns will get kind of embedded in your regular conversations. Alright, so I hope you liked and enjoyed the video. I will see you next time. Thank you.